good afternoon. Salo, nice to see you here today. How is everybody doing? So drop in the comments what you really are looking to get out of joining these sessions. And the reason I ask everyone this before we even get started is we actually like to read the comments and modify our content to accommodate everyone's needs. The beautiful thing about real estate is it's kind of like the saying in marriage, we all live the same life at different addresses, but we all essentially do the same job in different geography locations. So everyone just drop in the chat and let's kind of get an idea of where everybody is. Better systems, more clients, more listings. Raising price point. Christine, I like this. Build strong habits and systems. Learn the essential skills since I'm new to real estate. Sarah, you might be the smartest person in the room in terms of learning new and essential skills. And so without further ado, let's jump into the blueprint. When you think about a blueprint being in real estate, it's an exact plan. And in listening to all of you, we knew that this market's a little different, but the reality is the market is the market. Sometimes there'll be a lack of inventory, other times there'll be a surplus of inventory. But we all know that we need skills, systems, and strategies to find inventory and how to effectively work with buyers and sellers. Because really the questions don't change. And a little bit about myself is, my name is Chirag Shah. I'm the founder of Chirag Shah Coaching. I got my license when I was 23 years old. So the number 40% keeps coming up in my life as I spent 40% of my life selling real estate. So what you do every day is something that's very familiar to me. I have actually done your job. But when Compass became number one, I realized that I've been here 40% of the time this entire company has existed. So our company only coaches Compass agents exclusively. So all of the stuff that we share with you today and in any of our trainings is what specifically works here at Compass. I have the great fortune of working with some of the most successful agents in this entire country and company, and I want to synthesize all that stuff and make it simple for you. In my heart, I'm somebody's son. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I have a 5-year-old daughter, Valentina, and an 8-year-old son, Chirag. And I share that with you as many of us have families. And one of the things that's most important for us as a team, and me personally in any coaching we do, is not only to help you grow your business, but to help you have a better life. And when people ask, like, how do you know if coaching is successful? Your business get better by accident. Your life can get better by accident. Both of them can happen together on purpose. And we want to make sure our time here together is spent purposefully in that direction. Many of us have family, friends, and people that we care about that we want to spend time with and that we're doing this for. The reality is when you got into real estate, you got into it for freedom, flexibility, and limitless income. No one got into this to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where people literally start with the statement, you can't find me a house. You're not selling my house. You invent the inventory, come up with the prices and help other people make their decisions. So that's kind of like who I am and what our philosophy is. And, I had 2 years of having the great fortune of working at Compass as a director of coaching and training. And this year I'm the proud co-creator of the Robert Refkin Action Plan. And I've seen many of you on the accountability sessions. So let's talk about today's roadmap. There are 3 things that we're going to do today. Number one, we're going to quickly overview the next 12 weeks. We want to give you an idea of what is to come. Then we're going to go through the perfect outreach to seller leads. And then all of us, the 100+ people today, are going to take action together, right? Because I find in coaching, there's 2 different philosophies, or there's one mainline philosophy. It's the what to do. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. The reality is, if you wanted to know what to do, you could just go to YouTube. You don't have to pay for it. It's the how, right? Everyone wants to know how to do it. So when I look at what my responsibility here, it's a couple different things. My responsibility is to give you the what, the how, and then the community of people to do it together. Because I encourage all of you, as you look at how many different areas people are from, is to get to know each other. By nature, real estate is a very lonely business. And finding a community of people to collaborate with and learn, collaborate, and grow together will make all of the difference. It is much harder to do this in a silo than to do it in a community. Wouldn't you all agree? So that is kind of the framework of how we're going to work. Real estate coaching, in my mind, being an agent, is about continuity. Here is just the first part, right? Having accountability sessions, people to connect with, the follow through, the implementation is what it truly is about. Now, again, it's 3-part series. The first part's about finding inventory. The second part is about working with sellers in a low inventory market. That's about how to have those effective conversations, from framing the market to price objections to presenting comps, and then working with buyers in a low inventory market. Hit yes if you had someone recently say, hey, I really want to buy a house. They have a heartbeat, a pre-approval, a really compelling reason, then tell you they want a deal, right? Like that is something people hear every single day, and it's not going to change. So we want to make sure that from the end to end, from start to finish, that when you leave here, you know how to handle these transactions and you could do them so that they close, that the right clients work with you, the wrong clients remove themselves via natural selection. Now, let's talk about the breakdown of the sessions. I will teach for 30 minutes, and then we have 15 minutes of implementation and Q&A. And then at the end of every 4th week, we design this course that we'll do 3 working sessions. And then the 4th session is all about implementing the first 3 sessions into your business into an ongoing basis, right? Because it's, again, not about what you learn, it's about what you can actually do. And if we keep just giving you content, more content, everyone stops and says, hey, wait, I need time to implement this. Well, we sequentially created the content so you could do all of it at once, right? There'll be some areas that will suggest you focus on more than others, but this really needs to be simple. There's nothing complicated about what we're going to tell you. But we also realized if you knew exactly what to do, how to do it, and how to put it into your schedule, you might not chosen to be here. So again, that's something that we feel is our responsibility to do with you. So that's kind of the framework of how we work. Now, the best part about this Compass community is several of your sales managers around the country are taking this course, and they've all agreed to run accountability sessions, right? So we had over 100 people sign up for accountability sessions in the first workshop, and this will be a good place for you to take what you learned here and implement it. Every single week, there'll be an agent or sales manager run accountability session. And Kate Bauer, who's an agent in Westchester, has agreed to run a session as well with the sales managers. So if you want to join an accountability session, we're going to put the form in here. Please do not write yes. Okay, so I hope everyone's listening right now. I want you just to click the form. I'll give everyone 2 minutes, just put your information in, and then you'll receive a separate email about the accountability sessions. When Robert talks about obsessing over opportunity, I obsess over the opportunity of making sure that you actually do the work. I could see some of my individual clients are on here. Diane, you have to click the sheet and put your name in the sheet or no one is going to reach out to you. What's that? Nice to see you here today. Anne, always nice to see you. Guys, we're going to put the link in again, just so people can click it and sign up on the sheet. And it looks like several of us are done and we're going to move forward. We'll put it again in the end. Okay, so if you're sitting here, these are the 3 reasons that you might not take advantage of what is offered to you. Number 1, this is not for me. How many times have you heard someone say something to you and the first reaction is, this is not for me? Well, if this is new to you, I'll tell you why your brain responds that way. Our brain is programmed for two primary needs: certainty and comfort. And the essence of doing something new is uncertain and uncomfortable. So when we ask you to do things, you're not going to immediately want to do them. Next thing you're going to ask yourself is, what if this does not work for me? And the next question I would ask you is, what happens if it does? Or what happens if you choose to do nothing and just stay in the same place? One of the most concerning things is over the last decade, technology, third-party sites, venture capital has cannibalized real estate. There are three parts of a transaction: before, during, and after. Before, cannibalize; during, cannibalize; after is the last one we have. And if you pay attention to history, everything that has happened is because we weren't listening to our clients. We did not want to change. The Zestimate agreed because people want to know the values of their home. Shocking. Could you imagine going to a financial planner and never hearing from them again? And the third part is this is uncomfortable. We want you to get used to being comfortable being uncomfortable. This is the essence of growth. So the way that your brain works in making decisions and changes, there's a cost and a payoff. As long as the payoff is greater than the cost, nothing will change. The day you realize the cost of not taking action is greater than the payoff of, you know what, I'm good where I am. I don't need to do this. This isn't for me. This might not work out. Then you'll make the change. I'll give you an example. You take somebody who just consistently eats unhealthy. And now one day they go to a doctor and they say, if you eat like this for one more day, you're going to have diabetes. Now, all of a sudden, the cost of eating that bad food is greater than the payoff. So before we get started on the next part of this, we want to talk about how you set yourself up for success, right? What is holding you back potentially from taking action? What is holding you back from taking action? I would love for you to share in the chat what is holding you back. I say that everyone that's writing right now has a lot of courage in sharing. Falling into old patterns. There is a specific reason I wanted all of us to share this, because I wanted every single person in here, whether they're writing or not, they're thinking one of those things. You are not alone. We're all going through this together, and I'm going to help you hit the button together, right? You very oftentimes can look at a different producer, a different colleague, or someone else. It could be polarizing. And then you could sit down with them and realize that they're the exact same. I have a client, Matt Breitenbach. He's in the Hamptons, and you sit down with him and he'll share with you all these challenges that he has. Matt runs a very high-end business. His team does around $300 million a year. And then you sit down with him and you're like, oh my God, this guy's just like me, and he's very approachable. So if you read the chat box, I want you to realize that we can all do this together, and the whole community aspect, right? So let's set ourselves up for success before we jump into it. Show up and be present, right? Turn on your camera, right? Let people see who you are. You have plenty of advance notice, 1 week to do it next time. Put your location next to your name. If you scroll through the Zoom names, you want people to know where you're from. That's how they'll connect your face and your location. And then you have a conversation. This is how you start building a relationship that can actually turn into something. Be ready, willing, and able to take action. That means be in front of your computer. You are going to hit a button or do something generally every single week. And be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, in doing this, what I want you guys to realize is this. There's a challenge going on at Compass right now, right? The 1% challenge. So if you split 70, you could get 71. If it's 80, you could get 81. And there's really three things you have to do. Check your likely to sell, mark them as complete, and see if you can convert them into a sale. I will give you the things to do for them. Now, look, at this point in life, you can either choose the changes for yourself or have the world choose them for you. If we look again back at history over the last 10 years, the changes that have been chosen for us have not been favorable. You have sites like Zillow that literally sell us back our leads at an astronomical amount of money. Just think about that, right? So what we have here is the perfect outreach to seller leads. This is what we're going to speak about today. Did you know that these likely to sell leads are really free seller leads and they convert at 10%? So write in the chat box how many leads you have right now. How many? I tried very hard to get them to change the words to free seller leads at Compass, but no one wanted to do so. But that's really what these likely to sells are. If you're in a suburban market, you might have heard of a company called SmartZip. They do something very similar. They send the postcards for you, and based on their algorithm, they're telling you how much everything is worth. 169, 112, 60, 40, 2, Sasha's must be new, 169, 571, so potentially 57 listings. So, and if you go into settings, system preferences, you can turn on the recommendation. So I encourage you to work with your AEM on this. So as you can see from the chat, there's a limited amount of inventory, but there's a lot of potential leads in here. At Compass, they track data on everything. 10% is what they're converting at. So no, Vincent, you should smile because there's 39 good potential opportunities in your database. We just have to find them. So these are the 3 things that are going to stop you from doing anything with these leads. You don't know what to say. You don't know who the people are. And what happens if they send back a nasty message? I'm going to give you what to say. It doesn't matter who the people are. If you're asking me, who are these people in my database? That's like when I used to run classes at our MLS and people used to ask me what their iTunes password were. How could I possibly know what your iTunes password were? I told one lady, I'm like, do you think this is because I'm Indian and I possibly worked at Apple that I would know where your iTunes password is? And the woman was like, no. I'm just like, then how could I know that? You know, the people are in your database because somehow you put them in there or they synced. When you go through, and this is a quick tidbit, when you're organizing your contacts, you want to look at every person and within 15 seconds, if they don't inspire confidence in you that you want to reach out to them, hit archive. Your database should be inspired by people that create confidence for you. If you feel confident reaching out to someone, keep them. If you don't, get rid of them. If not, they're called likely to sells, right? Or seller leads. And the third one is, what if they send you a nasty message? Who here is afraid to send a message to a group of people that they might not know because they're afraid of what they're going to get back? I'm afraid too sometimes, right? Like I have no idea what all of you can say to me. Some of these messages I get are quite interesting. Now, let the AI help you. 3 things you need: full name, full address, email address. Again, when you're organizing contacts, this is what you need to do. So now, everyone open up their Compass CRM. Does everyone have their Compass CRM open? I'll give everyone a minute to get here. We will get to that objection, Patricia. It doesn't matter if you have a lot to clean up, it's fine. So everyone open, go to their Compass homepage. I'm going to go to mine as well. And we're going to take the first 3 parts of this together. Brooke, they can see my Compass agent home. Okay, good. So if you see over here, right on the top, right next to home and search to the right-hand side, you'll see an area that says likely to sell recommendations. Click view recommendations. It is a blue rectangle button. Now, when we all get here, we want to hit the table view. Hillary, reach out to your AEM if you're not new to the business and make sure that the feature is turned on. Now, when we get here, we're going to want to click Open Table View. Now, this is the next step here is very important. So I'm going to go very slow so everyone could listen to me carefully. There's a difference between crisis care marketing, which is like, oh my God, I sat through Chirag's workshop or I sat through Sky's workshop and I need to send a likely to sell message. That is called crisis marketing, right? Something happens and now I need to send a message. Now, the large brands, the luxury brands, the car brands, they all do this art called campaigning, right? It is a triggered set of messages to get a client or a prospect to a specific result. But the first part is you need to get organized in doing this. So I want you to hit this button here, this rectangle button next to name on the top left-hand side. And then there's a button in blue there that says select all. I want you to click the two buttons and hit select all. We're going to set this up now so we can continue marketing to people. One of several outcomes that's going to come. Somebody's going to respond to you and either say thank you or they want to have an appointment. Two, they're not going to respond to you, or third, they're going to send you some stupid message, right? And do you think there are people out there waiting to argue with you? The answer is 100%. You know those people, they're just waiting to argue with people. These are people that are generally not happy with themselves, and then they see something and they want a reason to complain. So just understand that that will happen. But we have an email planned out that you could send to these people just in case it does. So once we go here, the next area we're going to want to go is tag. So if you want to create a new tag, you could write seller leads. You could put the date in. You could call them likely to sell. So if we click seller leads, we can add them. I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to write seller leads session 2. If you put something new in here, you can update your contacts with them. See, create seller leads. So we'll want to create the folder, and now we're done. So here's the next part. I want all of you to click this email button with all of them selected. Somebody's unmuted. Okay, someone says.
Can you go back real quick just on the part where you said you click tag and then you create the new...
Yep, so click here and hit tag. So pick the name of your tag, right? I'm just going to write team seller leads, and there's a plus button here. So you can hit the plus button to create a custom tag. You hit plus, and now they're there. And you hit update 40 contacts, and there it goes. If you only have 500 at a time, you can do this systematically. Now, the next thing I want you to do is open up the email, right? You see there's 5 of them that don't have an email. And we'll leave this here, and this is where we're going to pick up next for when we actually send out an email together. Sound good? All right, I got enough head nods. All right, let me go back to sharing my deck. All right, these are the things that we're originally going to do, right? We're going to open the thing. We're going to view the recommendations. We hit the table view. We tag them so we can later go back and send future messages to this group. Email button, and this is where we're going to stop, right? And now we're going to get into the 3 steps for a successful email to a cold lead. These are the 3 essential things that every email should have. You know, as a real estate agent, I find your job just continues to get more and more complicated. Most of you got into this to help people buy and sell homes. Now, this has to do with psychology, sales, the science of email marketing, and a lot of different things, right? This is a learned skill and not something I expect anyone to wake up and say, hey, I know how to put these 3 or 4 things together. So we wanted to put these together for you. So what we're going to do is we'll give you an email to send. I give everyone a preface in saying this. I am a great coach. I'm a great trainer. I'm a great speaker. I am not the best writer. So feel free to take the words I have and change them, but this is the framework for success. Number one is be conversational, right? Being conversational is way different than just telling in an email. Add value. You have to give them something that they could not get somewhere else. And the third one is create intrigue. Now let's see what this actually looks like. Sharing through stories helps you be more relatable. This is a concept called framing. Now, in sales and marketing, framing is setting a context of the conversation you're going to have based on somebody's present belief system, values, and how they see the world. I'll give you an example. Now, if I said to all of you, right, I was at my financial planner this week reviewing the value of my portfolio and the amount of equity I had. During the review, I started thinking about how many of you or my clients or agents might benefit from the same information about your home. Now, doesn't that set the stage for wanting an annual home value? Could you, as I referenced before, could you imagine going to a financial planner and never hearing from them year after year? This is how framing works for anything. If you want to do a communication plan with the client and have boundaries, you take any object like your cell phone and you ask them this question: would you drop your cell phone off to a business where you didn't know what days of the week it was open and closed? No. Would you drop your business same phone off to a place where you didn't know the hours of operation? No. If you're a business person, would you want to go somewhere that didn't have a clear place where you can make after hours appointments? No. What about emergency contact? No. Hey, let me make sure we don't create that same service you said you didn't want for your cell phone for your home that you're going to sell and that you're about to pay $100,000 in commissions. They'll agree to it all the time because you frame the conversation that way. So when we're writing emails to cold people, you have to be conversation and share through stories. Make it compelling. The second one is provide something of substance by adding value. How many people here knew that in the year 2021, homeowners gained over $6 trillion in equity? Hit yes or no. So if this is compelling to you and you're some of the best agents in the country, do you think it's compelling to a seller? The third part, ask powerful questions to create intrigue. And because you're in all of our coaching programs. So ask questions that the person reading the email to relate to. What would cause someone to want to engage in your email? And now there are two different ways of doing this. There's direct. The housing market's at an all-time high. Have you ever considered what you would do with the additional money you could get selling your home today? Or there's an indirect way. If you or anyone could benefit from an equity analysis, please let me know. Those are two different ways to communicate the same message. You know your audience, and if they're cold leads, they do what's called A/B testing. You send one message out to one group of people, you send another message out to another group of people, and you see how many people respond. Or I think video is a great thing, where I would reach out and let's see who's on my screen today. Gail from sunny San Diego. I'd say, hey, Gail, it's Chirag Shah from Compass. I just left my financial planner and I was reviewing the amount of equity in my portfolio, which I do annually, which really made me think of you, because how often is it that the real estate agent actually reviews the equity with the homeowner? What's really interesting is I read an article the other day that in 2021, homeowners gained $6 trillion. And we've been seeing so many clients reimagine where they want to live and what they're doing with the additional equity. If you're curious at all or think of anyone that I could help, please let me know. If not, I know you're really busy. No need to respond. I hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon. Chirag. Do you think that's very hard to do? Like I just made that up. Now, mind you, I'm good at doing video, even though I can't speak right now. But if I had to write that, it would be much harder for me. And the reason I share that with you is know what your strengths are, right? As we say at Compass, maximize your strengths. So there's different ways to go about doing this, right? But remember, be conversational, add value, and create intrigue, right? Which is asking powerful questions. So My question is, are all of us in alignment with how we can do this for our seller leads? Yes, no, maybe so. This is the same formula you can use over and over and over again. Steve, it doesn't matter if you've never spoken to the people again. The worst thing that they're going to do is send you an email that says, I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're emailing me, right? Please take me off your list. That is the absolute worst thing that could happen. And I will tell all of you a quick story of Buddha that will help you kind of frame your mind around doing this. You know, back when Buddha was the thing, right? You know, they had little villages and town halls that were like really the most popular areas. So these people came into town and they started talking bad about Buddha. And Buddha said, you know what, to his followers, just leave the people alone. Don't let them say anything. Now they're going shop to shop to shop, ruining Buddha's good name. Followers are infuriated. What do you want us to do? Nothing. Now they've set up a demonstration in the town center. And now people are starting to actually believe that this guy is not who he is. Mind you, he's a great person and all he does is help people. His followers are like, we should kill these people. They can't ruin your name like this. He's like, leave them alone. Like most things that when people give you negative energy, if you don't meet that energy, they go away. So eventually the people packed up and they left. And so when Buddha was sitting with all his followers, they asked, how come you didn't do anything, right? You're a great person, you help people and everything else. Why would you let people do this to you? And Buddha said this, if I have a rose and I try to give you the rose and you don't take it, who still has the rose? I do. In life, that rose represents negativity, hate, combativeness, and all of the challenges that we're all afraid of in sending out messages. You don't have to accept the rose. I'll share with you a message that we can all send out. Those people who want to share that rose cannot be holding you back from helping people. There are a lot of people that have no idea. There are areas, there's a neighborhood in Miami, it was either Coral Gables or the Grove, that last year, between year over year from 20 to 21, the home values went from 780 as an average median price point to 1.8 million. Do you think there are people in there that would be very happy with $1 million extra in their house to do something they never thought of? It's our job to share the information. But the way this whole thing has been wired for us is we've been set up for failure, in my opinion, right? We don't know what to say. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to respond to bad things. We don't understand the psychology of how our brain works and why things hold us back. When you when people say to you, that's not for me, it's because you haven't learned how to work through and make anything for you. We have 100+ people who all share the same challenges, and all of us can do this together, right? So here is the next part. Phrases that can help. No need to respond. Every time you say no need to respond, what do you think happens? They respond. Just thought of you and wanted to send you a quick note. That's being thoughtful. I see someone taking a picture. We'll give you all of our slides and everything as well. We're not shy about sharing our materials. And at the end, we'll walk you through our platform, where the recordings are, where you can see our perfect pitch stuff, where the forums are, and everything else. As we shared in the beginning, we're obsessed about community, making sure that you take what you learn in here and actually do it. Now, the next part is sent from my iPhone. I'm going to show you a really cool bulk email hack that a lot of our clients are doing that make these bulk emails look even more personalized, like you typed it out on your phone. So here's the email. Hey, Salo, I was just at my financial planner reviewing my portfolio and the total over amount of equity I have in it, which made me really think about this article that I wanted to share with you about how much money homeowners have gained in equity over the last year. My realization was there might be a lot of people just as interested in their home equity analysis in their financial portfolio. So if you or anyone would be interested in an equity analysis of their home, simply let me know. If not, I hope you're doing well. No need to respond. Is that a message that we can all send somebody? I encourage you to check the grammar, read the words, make them your own. I'm my own perfect imperfection as well. But we want to give this to you so you can send it today. Now, As my friend Tony Robbins says, oops, knowing is not enough. You must take action. So here is what we're going to do. Now, let me pull this up. Nobody write in the chat because we're not done. This is a part where we actually do stuff. If you look here, there are two different versions of this. This is a subject line, homeowners gain $6 trillion. Do you think somebody might open that if they own a home? Absolutely. So remember we talked about direct and indirect? Now, this is the indirect one that I shared. This is a direct one. Blank. John, as I speak with more and more clients, one of the consistent themes is the amount of equity clients have built in their homes over the last 2 years. This article highlights that the US housing market actually gained over $6 trillion in value in 2021, and homeowners are benefiting from this tremendously. Therefore, I've been doing a lot of equity analyses for clients as they look to gain a full picture of their financial portfolio. So if you or anyone would be interested in an equity analysis of their home, simply let me know. If not, I hope you're doing well. No need to respond. Have a great day. Can we all hit yes? This is where 100 plus people should say yes. Can we all send one or two of these, one version of this email to people? And the reason I use the chat box so much, as I see someone said this, is I want to see where all of you are. Remember, it's not about what you do here, it's about what you implement. So about half of us. Now, for the rest of us, some people might be on their phones, some people might be in transit. Remember, you can change the words, you can make them your own, it could speak to your market, it could speak to your clients. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link of this in the chat, right? So nobody post anything in the chat now. And this way you can copy and paste this into your bulk email template where we left off. And I will walk through this with all of you. All right, so everyone click the link that I just posted in the chat. I can see in the document how many of you are in there. So when a majority of us are in there, we'll continue forward. Perfect. So let me share my screen here. Okay. Thumbs up, you can see my bulk email. Okay, good. So look, I will simply go in here. I will take I'll copy from the document. Now here's the important part. You'll want to hit this, what looks like the hashtag that says insert variable. This is where you could pick the variable. I would just put first name, right? Go down a couple lines, and this is where you copy in the email. The article is already linked. You could even add, oops. You could put the word hi in. Now watch, remember I told you there was a hack to make it look like you came out from your iPhone? Watch this. This is how this email looks now. If you see this little pen here where it says toggle signature, you click this, you hit no signature, and you can scroll down. I can't spell my own name today. So if you're ever doing this and you want it to look more personalized, this is the way to do it. Yep, Yvonne, do not send these people CMAs. Do not. Remember, be conversational, add value, create intrigue. Remember, if I tried to sell you stuff, no one wants to be sold. Now, if I told us all I'd give us $10,000 each and we could go shopping on Fifth Avenue, we'd all say, let's go buy, right? Just remember, no one wants to be sold. Everyone likes to buy. You're looking for who raises their hand. We're going to send one email now, and then you should wait either 2 weeks to 30 days to send a follow-up message to this group. But remember, when we talk about sequencing and campaigning, we know that they sent this message about home ownership, right? And the raise in equity. The next thing is you could find another article on the amount of people that are considering moving, right? Even more than last year, an additional 20% are considered moving, and you could tell a narrative around that. How is the personalized name implemented? Here is this little hashtag. It says insert variable. This is how you can add their first name. And then you simply just hit send. So pick one or two versions of the email template and hit send. Let me know who's hit sent once you've sent out the message. And equity analysis is a nice word for a CMA, because that's what a CMA is. It'll tell you how much an equity analysis is. Right. And so some people might not want that CMA. It's like way too formal, and it takes away from the concept of it being conversational, you thinking about them, no need to respond. There is a button right to the left of where that little hashtag is. It's a pen. That's how you add the signature and no signature. Okay, if anyone is stuck on doing this, I want to know why you're stuck, because my goal is to have all 120 of you send an email. As they say, this is what you signed up for. So I care enough to follow up to make sure that you do it. The subject line is there: homeowners gain $6 trillion. If you're on your phone, you could do it after. So some of us have a lot of people and that we want to do this. The second version is if you scroll down in the document. All right, look, for a first session, I would consider this very successful. Right? You guys all showed up, you had your cameras on, you were open, you shared, you were vulnerable, you got to know each other. A lot of you have signed up for the accountability group. So without knowing, I would say we probably easily between both groups have 150, 160 people that are going to get to know each other. Now, a couple of things that happen next for all of us. At the end of every week, on Friday morning, you'll get a recap email from us, right? So make sure you mark our email not as spam, and we'll give you a link to the session recording, as well as where you could find any of the attachments or scripts from our sessions, right? Deborah will be on here in 2 minutes, my chief of staff, and she'll walk everyone through our portal, because all the session recordings are there for you forever. Everyone that signed up has access to our perfect pitch program. It's 29 videos on how to deliver a listing presentation. You know, I find as real estate agents, we've been paying for the same thing over and over again. How many years have people wondered how to give the perfect pitch or presentation? So we decided to just break it down into the scripts, the objection handlers, how to present marketing, everything you need to do specifically here at Compass. The slides will be uploaded in the portal as well. So the slides will be there, a link to the document will be there. Any of the deliverables, scripts, and everything we talk about will be housed in this portal. So we're going to go through how to do it. If anyone has any calendar issues or anything like that, we'll put in, it is the same portal as the 10 by 10. We will put an email that you can email so we can help you with your scheduling challenges. We don't have to do that with everybody here. Was this a good session for all of you to kind of get started in this? Okay, good. Now, everything we do builds on each other, right? I like to believe that I approach business with strategy, and that's the important part. So the next week, we're going to talk about how to market to your database based on campaigning. It's going to talk about segmentation, what you could send to segments, and how to really market to your database strategically. Because if you're sending the same message to everybody, it is a horrible idea. Think of your newsletter and your database like a TV show. If Breaking Bad was on Monday at 5, then next week it was on Thursday at 3, and then the following week it wasn't there, and then the producers were like, oh shit, I need to put an episode on. They just ran another one. There's a challenge, but that's how we do our marketing, because again, no one gives us calendars and no one gives us strategy. So session 1, what does success look like? In the words of Robert and my friends at Compass, success looks like you know how to market to any cold lead by being conversational, which is telling a story that people can relate to. It's creating value. You could set Google alerts and find articles on almost anything. And the third is asking great questions. And now you have an email to send back. I forgot to read this to you guys, and let me just go back to this. If a client is pissed off and says to you, I don't know why you're sending me this information and everything else like that, I have no interest in selling my home. I don't even know how you got my information. Isn't that what we're all afraid of getting from a client? That is, you could get 100 good responses. That will leave a pit in your stomach and make you never want to send an email again. And that's just how human beings work. Now, you could write this email back to them. John, I understand what you're saying. I got really excited to share this information as so many people have been excited to hear something positive. Again, my apologies. I'll take you off my email list and I will not email you again. I hope you're doing well. And if I could be helpful in the future, please let me know. Do you think anyone could really be mad about that? Remember, you have to take advantage of what's going on in the world. There's been a lot of bad news out there recently, right? Inflation, interest rates, war. This is something very positive. And even those people that want to hand you their bad rose, they could probably understand this. And if someone still wants to respond to this, you can just ignore them at that point, take them off your email list. Or better yet, the same way people block you, I would block these people so they just can't email you anymore and mentally torture you. If somebody writes you a bad email back, I would hit that response and hit block. Right? If that's how you're psychologically wired. Now, we'll continue our journey. Tomorrow morning, you will get a recap newsletter with a link to all of this stuff and everything in it. Number 2, we will also, can you please also post the response? The response is in the document, right? So everyone here, I'm going to put the link to the document. Everyone that wants to go back to this document today, please click it and just leave it open on your computer. I would send this to every likely to sell, Steve, and I would send it in the bulk email form up to 300 people. Remember, statistics says that 10% of those people are an actual listing. Number 2, for those of you who signed up for accountability sessions, we have some stuff to sort out. I have to speak with the sales managers and Kate, and you'll get an email on Monday. And then they'll tell you about the day and everything else, but assume that the session is either going to be on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I think in a perfect world, people would recap what they did in an accountability session on Wednesday and came in here on Thursday. Remember, you signed up and made an investment of yourself. So while you're here, don't be on your cell phone. Do not take calls. The world's not going to end in 45 minutes. I promise you, you'll be okay. And number 3, no matter how uncomfortable it is, hit the send button today. All you need is one response of something good for you going gangbusters on this. You're like, oh my God, this really works. I can tell you this works because I only work with Compass agents, and that's what I'm sharing with you. So I truly appreciate you all being here. Deborah's going to walk you through the portal. Check out the perfect pitch videos. For the people that are new here, make sure you learn this. These essential skills that we're going to go through in these 12 weeks is what's missing in everyone's sales career. We are never, ever learned effectively how to answer a simple question of, you know what? John said he would do it for 1% less. People just crumble. Well, if I can't negotiate my commission, how can I negotiate your home sale? Well, home sell in 5 minutes. How are you going to justify that, right? These are all the things that we want to go through with you. So that's just a little sneak peek going forward. So, I always say that your time is your greatest asset and you chose to invest it with us here today. So for that, I truly thank you all for being open, being kind, being vulnerable, sharing with each other. And I want to welcome you to the Chirag Shah Coaching community, where to us, we don't have clients who have community members. To us, you guys are all really part of now an extended family of 1,000+ other agents. So we look forward to opportunities of helping you network with each other, learning from each other, building friendships, growing your business. And we want to make sure that the content's easy to digest, a place for you to follow up, and that there's continuity from each one of these sessions.